is root 13. Now this is x. You now take this minus 4 to this side. You now have s equals to 4 plus or minus root 13. Let's look at more example for better understanding. Let's look at this now. Solve the equation a squared plus 3a minus 2 equals to 0. Then you arrange it in this form. You take this minus 2 to this side. It give you a squared plus 3a equals to 2. Now you now add the square of half coefficient of a to both sides. Now the coefficient of a is 3. Now half of 3 is 3 over 2. Now you now add the square of 3 over 2. That is the square of half coefficient of a. That is the square of 3 over 2. You add it to both sides. So it will now give us a squared plus 3a plus half the coefficient, the square of half coefficient of a, which is 3 over 2 square, equals to 2 plus 9 over 4. This 9 over 4 is gotten from this 3 over 2 square. 3 square is 9, 4, 2 square is 4. Now this one will give us 8 plus 9 all over 4, which give us 17 over 4. Now as I explained before, for better understanding, you just take this one off so that you have a square plus 3 over 2 square. Now when you have a square plus 3 over 2 square, you just bring out the a plus 3 over 2 all square. For better understanding for now, you just take this one off and you get a plus 3 over 2 all square equals to 17 over 4. Now a plus 3 over 2, you take this square off, that is you root both sides. So a plus 3 over 2 equals to the plus or minus square root of 17 over 4. A plus 3 over 2 equals to plus or minus 17 over 4, which gives us plus or minus root 17 over 2. Root 4 is 2. So you can see clearly that over here this root covers 17 over 4, but over here this root covers only the 17. So we have been able to get the square root of 4 as 2. So this root 17 over 4 gives us root 17 all over 2. Now a equals to, you now take this plus 3 over 2 to this side to give us minus 3 over 2 plus or minus root 17 over 2. Now collecting the LCM, if you get the LCM, so a will give us minus 3 plus or minus root 17 all over 2. Now let's quickly compare factorization method to completing the square method. Over here you can see if the left hand side of the equation factorizes, use the method of factorization rather than completing the square method. For example, x squared minus 7s plus 10 equals to 0. Now if you factorize this, if it is factorizable, that is if it can be factorized to this stage, then you just use the factorization method, whereby you have x minus 5, x minus 2 equals to 0. So it's either s minus 5 is 0 or s minus 2 is 0, which will give us x equals to 5 or 2. But if we look at the complete the square method for the same equation, x squared minus 7s plus 10 equals to 0, then you have to take this 10 to this side. You have 7s squared minus 7s equals to minus 10. Then you look for half, the square of half coefficient of s, which is the square of half of 7. That is the square of half of 7. You add it to both sides, which will give us s squared minus 7s plus this 7 over 2 raised to power 2 equals to minus 10 plus 49 over 4. This 49 over 4 is this 7 over 2 square. Now this minus 10 plus 49 over 4 give us minus 40 plus 49 over 4. that gives us 9/4 here. Now, as I explained earlier, for better understanding, you just take off this minus 7x. So you will be left with x squared and the 7/2 all square. Now, because of this minus here, you now have x minus 7/2 raised to power 2. You take this one off, you have this x and this 7/2, and you give them the square here. Now, having it here, if you now square both sides, if you root both sides, if you root both sides, you now have x minus 7/2 equals to plus or minus 3/2. That is, root 9 is 3, root 4 is 2. You have root both sides. Now you now have x, you take this minus 7 to this side, minus 7/2, sorry. You now have x equals to 7/2 plus or minus 3/2. Now x will now give you is either 10/2 or 4/2. If you add 7/2 plus 3/2, it will give you 10/2. If you use 7/2, if you use the minus, it will give you 4/2. So it's either 5 or 2. You can see that either the factorization method and the complete the square method gives you the same answer, 5 or 2. But it is better to use factorization method if this left hand side can be factorized than using complete the square method. Now let's check the formula method.